Pain is inevitable. You will experience loss, rejection, failure, disappointment, physical pain, emotional pain. These are part of being human. You cannot avoid them. But suffering? Suffering is optional. The difference is not in what happens to you. It is in what happens inside your brain. Subscribe if you want to understand the machinery behind your own mind. Here is a truth that will change everything. Pain is the event. Suffering is the story you tell yourself about the event. Pain is the breakup. Suffering is the years of replaying what went wrong. Pain is the mistake. Suffering is the endless loop of, I should have known better. Pain is the rejection. Suffering is the belief that you are not good enough. Pain happens in the body. Suffering happens in the mind, and the mind can be trained. If this resonates, hit subscribe, because you need a reminder that you are not broken. You are just telling yourself a painful story that you can learn to rewrite. Psychologists distinguish between primary pain and secondary suffering. Primary pain is the direct experience of something unpleasant. You lose your job. Someone you love dies. You fail at something important. That hurts. That is pain. Secondary suffering is everything you add on top of the pain. The rumination, the catastrophizing, the self-blame, the what-if spirals, the why me questions, the belief that you will never recover. Here is the crucial insight. Primary pain is inevitable. Secondary suffering is not. The event happened. You cannot change that. But everything you add after the event is a choice. Not always an easy choice, not always a conscious choice, but a choice nonetheless. Why does your brain turn pain into suffering? Because your brain is trying to protect you. It believes that if it replays the event enough times, it will find a way to prevent it from happening again. It believes that if it imagines every possible disaster, it will be prepared. It believes that if it blames you, it will motivate you to do better. But your brain is wrong. Replaying does not prevent, it only prolongs. Imagining disasters does not prepare you, it only paralyzes you. Self-blame does not motivate you, it only shames you. Your brain is using ancient software to solve modern problems, and it is creating suffering in the process. So how do you stop turning pain into suffering? How do you break the cycle? First, you separate the event from the story. The event is what happened. The story is what you tell yourself about what happened. I lost my job is the event. I lost my job because I am a failure and I will never find another one. The event is fact. The story is interpretation. And interpretations can be changed. Second, you ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Not, is this thought true? Your brain will find evidence for any story. Ask, is this thought helpful? Does replaying this conversation help you? Does blaming yourself help you? Does imagining the worst-case scenario help you? If the answer is no, you do not need to believe the thought. You can let it pass. Third, you focus on what you can control right now. Suffering lives in the past and the future. Pain happened in the past. Suffering is the rumination about the past. Suffering is the fear of the future. The only place you are not suffering is the present moment, right now. This breath, this feeling, this action. Bring yourself back to now. What can you do in this moment? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Fourth, you practice radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it were. The event happened. You cannot change it. Fighting reality creates suffering. Accepting reality creates peace. Acceptance is not resignation. It is not, I am okay with this. It is, this is what happened and I will work with what is, not what I wish was. Fifth, you change the question. Suffering asks, why me? Peace asks, what now? Why me keeps you stuck in victimhood. What now moves you forward. Why me has no answer that will satisfy you. What now has 1,000 answers. Change the question, change your life. Here is what happens when you stop turning pain into suffering. You stop being a victim of your own mind. The event still happened. It still hurts, but you are no longer adding fuel to the fire. You are not replaying, catastrophizing, or self-blaming. The pain is there, the suffering is not. You get your energy back. Suffering is exhausting. The mental loops, the rumination, the worry, the self-blame, it drains you. When you stop, you have energy for what matters: healing, growing, living. You get your peace back, not because the pain is gone, because you have stopped fighting reality. You have accepted what is, and acceptance is the beginning of peace. You get your power back. When you stop asking why me and start asking what now, you take control. Not control over what happened, control over what happens next, and that's the only control that matters. Pain is inevitable. You cannot avoid loss, rejection, failure, or disappointment. They are part of being human. But suffering is the story you tell yourself about, and you can learn to tell a different story. Not a story that pretends the pain does not exist, a story that acknowledges the pain and then asks, what now? A story that separates the event from the interpretation, a story that focuses on what you can control right now, a story that accepts reality and then works with it. You have spent enough time suffering. You have replayed events that are long over. You have blamed yourself for things that were not your fault. You have imagined disasters that never happened. You have asked, why me, until you exhausted yourself. Today, you try something different. You separate the event from the story. You ask, is this thought helpful? You focus on what you can control right now. You practice radical acceptance. You change the question from why me to what now? Not perfectly, not all at once, one thought at a time, one breath at a time, one choice at a time. Pain will come, that's life. But suffering is optional, and you have the power to choose. If you are ready to stop turning pain into suffering and start taking back your peace, subscribe. Every week we explore not just how the mind works, but how to make it work for you. Not the suffering, the peace. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.